have this view. It should have Dad's watchful eyes on
I like
everything.
it. It's good.
Take it away. Don't take it away. We need that. Ah, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Keep Dad's watchful eyes on every draft
I just
screen.
need to keep turning to the camera every time that happens.
I think so. You have to just stare into it every time it happens. I
They
like
should
that.
do it. They're faded back there. All right, anyway. So,
see.
new strategy coming out from No Diggity. As we've seen in all their games, they've been trying to secure that crowd control. This time, they're going for Nature's Prophet first pick.
Yeah,
Well,
I was actually thinking that they want to keep putting Kezu on the same hero.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's been working for them really well, but they could just have a different idea of what they want to do against London Conspiracy. So maybe just not conducive to the style that they want to adopt. Maybe they feel more confident in splitting up the map and kind of pulling London Conspiracy apart, which kind of makes sense on paper because it really feels like the biggest weakness that they've had as a team for London Conspiracy is not having everyone on the same page, not having a great game plan and kind of falling apart because of that. So Furion's a great way to throw a wrench in that. Just be like, I'm over here, you know, we're dominating the lanes, I'm teleporting in, we're getting ganks. Then you reach this mid game where Furion's just a huge nuisance for you, and then all of a sudden you just completely lose momentum in the game.
Right.
So maybe that's the idea here.
He's a huge positioning punisher, right?
Yeah, he definitely can be. And you can't underestimate him early game either. A lot of these Nature's Prophets nowadays go for like the phase drums. So you TP in, your right click is actually fairly substantial with just those two items. And you can chase very well with the drums movement speed. But okay, it's going to be a very greedy opening from No Diggity. Fury and Void together.
They have played in mid lane.
Fury in mid.
Fury
yeah.
and Koikfa.
Fury in mid.
Yeah.
And I do think that it makes more sense to me because I really feel like, again, Void is a comfort zone hero for Kezu.
Yeah.
And as long as you can give him that, then I feel like he'll perform.
It could have been the fake out, you know? Make them think that they're doing a different strategy. Then
Yeah, I forgot they did this.
There we
They're
go.
pretty much the only team, as far as I know, that actually do mid Furion. So it kind of slipped my mind, but as soon as I see it, it's like, okay, yeah, they actually do that.
Do you feel like it's a weakness of them to reveal that straight away? As
It
in not
depends.
specifically a weakness, but could they pick something else and Void would have not been banned out because maybe London Conspiracy is going to assume that it's a Nature's Prophet on the off
I
lane?
think because they saw the Invoker ban in the first phase, they think to themselves, okay, there's not really anything else that we're going to feel super comfortable putting against OD, so why not put a hero mid that kind of just needs a few levels? We can have somebody else that can support rotate into his position to soak the farm, and the Furion can be like a space creator and split pusher instead of a position 2 flat out that usually just takes farm. You know, he can contribute more, he can do more during that kind of early mid-game transition where normally you're just going to have like an Invoker AFK farming or you're going to have an OD AFK farming. This is a more active approach, which I do like.
Okay, now we have the Enigma banned out on the side of London Conspiracy with a Brood and Beastmaster removed for No Diggity, so they are on the off-lane ban train.
Yeah, those are super good bans.
Yeah.
Brew just smashes these two heroes, honestly. Like, a Void and a Nature's Prophet can do literally nothing against Brood. And Beastmaster, you don't want to give him the vision control. I wouldn't be surprised to see London Conspiracy go back for something like Batrider, though. Like, they need something that can start a team fight on their own terms. You want some semblance of catch for the Furion as well. You don't want him to just have, like, free reign. And since you haven't picked up anything like a Death Prophet or a 5-man potential hero just yet, you can't really force the tempo that way. You can't just force a 5-man unless you go back for like a Drow maybe. But I don't know if London Conspiracy have that up their sleeve just yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, Shiva, you were talking about this before. Vengeful Spirit, great pick against that Void.
Yep.
The easy swaps, the easy stuns. So, I don't know, man. I feel like London Conspiracy is definitely respecting Diggity a lot more than VP was. They got much smarter bans and picks.
I kind of agree. I didn't like the fact that VP never had any save for either of the games they were playing against Void. I really feel like having just one swap or any defensive tool whatsoever, doesn't matter what it is, just something. And I think that FNG's offlane shaker was their answer, but in that game, BKBs just destroy the hero way too much. And then it reaches that stage and it's like, well, my shaker is kind of useless now. So I do like the way that London Conspiracy are approaching the Void.
Zeus is the last ban for London Conspiracy, by the way.
Yeah.
Just wanna
Yeah,
point
Zeus
that
makes sense.
All right. So, why pick up a Lion over a Witch Doctor here?
I think that it's one of those things where it's really good against Ench. I mean, obviously, Witch Doctor Ward is okay too, but you want like the insta-kill potential, you know? You don't want the hero to be alive for a long period of time, and also
He runs real fast.
Lion is more catch, okay? So imagine you have like this Blink Void, Blink Lion, and then Furion as well. You can initiate the fight and have 3 heroes pretty much instantly there.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for. You're looking to control the game. You don't want like this OD getting a ton of farm and BKB and then suddenly pressuring the map. You want to control the tempo on your own terms when you have Furion on your team. So it's a good hero in that regard.
Okay, now we're talking about playing on your own terms. London Conspiracy's draft so far feels a little bit countery towards No Diggity. Not really. It seems like they have a bit of a plan, but their plan is to counter No Diggity rather than having their own like strategy already prepared or having an idea of what they want to be doing here. No Diggity, they're not really going away from their path. They're just doing their thing, and it looks to be working. Obviously, the previous series definitely worked.
Oh, they are going Drow. Okay. I thought they might do this after having seen the Fury and Void opening. The biggest weakness of these two heroes in the beginning is obviously you lack damage. Okay, so you have like Fury and auto attacks, Void auto attacks. Okay, big deal. Invoker's banned, OD's taken away from you, Ench is taken away from you. Where's your Chronosphere synergy at this point? Like, what's your backup hero where you say, all right, even if we're underfarmed, we have like this wombo combo that we can all of a sudden throw out. I don't really feel like you can pick Enigma into this either, because then you will literally just get mowed down. Like, your towers will disappear. So what is the answer for No Diggity here? Because they have like a safe laner left, and then I guess Yapzor's hero, unless Cinderin plays Lion most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Yapzor's hero still needs to be picked, and
yes,
it's going to have to be something that is either super greedy to a point where they could just get pushed to death, or they're going to have to pick something where Yapzor can just dominate early game. And I don't really see...
I mean, he plays Bounty Hunter, he plays Night Stalker in terms of early aggression.
Bounty Hunter's okay. Night Stalker might actually be better, in my opinion. Because they don't have anything that soaks damage either. No tank. No tank.
No
is
tank.
No,
bueno.
not again, please.
No tank, no game.
Once you two get together,
Night
it's all
Stalker is
tank.
really nice because it's a hero that can help you close the gap, and long duration silences against heroes like Ench or OD and Venge. It sets up really nice Chronospheres because you silence the Venge and then you Sphere, and then it's like, okay, well now I can't really do anything about it. I would actually like that a lot for Yapzor.
Slark? Is that a hero?
Slark is so greedy. They have Fury and
Marana.
Okay, they are going to go back for the pot.
It worked last time.
Yeah, if he had to hit heroes in that last game, hit arrows, he needs to hit arrows even more in this game. Like
definitely.
And he doesn't have a Bane, and he doesn't have
well, to be
an
fair,
OD.
he didn't really rely on
the
the Bane that
Only
much.
a Bane.
He was hitting the arrows pretty reliably on his own. I think the Ember Spirit was more of a combo for him than the Bane actually was.
And
so
actually
maybe that will be the safe lane here, will be the Ember.
He can use the OD of the other team to help out.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Just hit those defensive Astral Imprisonments. Death Prophet last ban for London Conspiracy.
Okay, so they're actually expecting... Wait, what are they expecting this Furion to be? They can't be expecting it mid if they just ban DP, right?
Nope. And I mean, they banned the Zeus as well. It's already showing that they are not sure what's happening. Maybe they are expecting the Void to be the safe lane Void.
They're spooked, dude. They don't know what's going on. They're just banning out
I don't know
heroes
what's
that are...
going on. Why do they have Fury and Void? They're going to get pushed so hard.
What's the hero that London Conspiracy you think needs to stop the push?
No. It's not. London Conspiracy are going to be the ones pushing. It's not going to be No Diggity.
What's No Diggity going to get to stop the push?
I think Ember's still okay.
It works.
They need something that can actually fight relatively early. They could... Sven's not banned, right?
Sven is not banned. No.
Sven they could do. Yeah, I think Ember or Sven would be good. I don't think... PL might be okay. It's kind of a fighty hero, but it doesn't have good deep push, and they kind of lack that right now. So they're super predicated around winning their lanes. Like, if they don't win their lanes, they are going to get just... A Drow Aura with Venge, 4 ranged heroes. It's spooky.
They went ahead and banned out the Bat Rider, so as you were saying, it would have been a pretty good pickup against No Diggity.
Super nice for them.
Well, looks like it's an Omni game. When all else fails, it's Omni time.
Omni or Abaddon actually isn't even that bad, to be honest.
It's good, in fact. You got that repel up, so Lion is in some serious trouble.
I would expect something like a Dazzle even.
Dazzle!
Or Witch Doctor. Dazzle or Witch Doctor.
So you are expecting Enchantress to be the offlane hero here then?
Yeah, I think offlane Ench is good, actually, against these heroes. Like,
oh, you called it, Drasky.
Nice call, nice call.
They made the wrong choice.
I mean, look at all their heroes, right? If they don't hit an arrow, they're all auto attackers. Like, Ench offlane is so strong in that situation. And you can even put the Abaddon Ench offlane together. And then it's like, how in the hell are we ever going to kill a hero because he just shields off every single arrow?
Exactly.
Like, this guy can just be everywhere removing stuns, and it's like, he comes by and he just like, Vape Nation. Smoke comes out of his face and he throws a Phonic shield on somebody.
Reminds me of the ultimate you came up for with Abaddon.
Yeah,
Mist
man.
of Avernus.
That's right. Jeez, I didn't think about it, but Abaddon is like the Vape Nation hero.
He is.
He's just in it, dude.
Okay, PL is the last pickup for No Diggity.
They are going to go PL. Okay.
They are.
I feel like that hero Lex, it's okay. I just don't love it.
We're in agreement again.
Well, we were going to
You
bump
went for the... I wanted to
just
grab
happened,
it.
guys?
I want it. Yes.
Predictions,
White
guys,
people handshakes.
please.
I actually like London Conspiracy's lineup quite a bit, and I think that they actually dealt with the Mirana issue quite well, and I feel like in the beginning of the game, no Diggity have to do a ton to win.
So you're thinking London
I
Conspiracy
think London Conspiracy would actually win this game. Yeah.
Are you
Gotta
going
stay
against
with my
PL?
prediction. I mean, against PL, rule number 1. And I said that No Diggity was going to lose 1 against London Conspiracy. The conspiracy's on, boys. We're good.
Okay, I will be the devil's advocate. And this time advocate for Diggity. Let's find out if Diggity is going to take this one or if London Conspiracy indeed is going to throw a dent in their game's record today. It is time for game 1 of London Conspiracy versus No Diggity with OD Pixel and PyCat.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second series of the day. We're going to be having No Diggity going up once again, but this time against London Conspiracy. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here joined by PyCat. We've seen the drafts, we're ready to kick it off. Let's get ourselves into the action as the game does get underway. And PyCat, give me a quick overview on the drafts that we've got here from both sides.
Okay, so we had a bit of a... We were not sure really what No Diggity were going to do with their Faceless Void and the Furion, but it is going to be a Furion mid, played by Koikwa. Someone has played this hero quite a lot. We're gonna have Kesu on the offlane Void. And yeah, it's just gonna be a standard safe lane PO, and they're probably gonna face an Ench Abaddon lane. And they also have the Drow Aura from Baby Knight there, and they have Venge, so very heavy pushing lineup here from London Conspiracy, also emphasizing quite a lot on the lanes. They have very strong lanes, and I do expect Odie to win this mid lane quite handedly. But Koikwa is... He's quite good at playing this mid Furion. I think he uses his treants a lot to both harass and CS. So it gives him quite a lot of extra damage.
I mean, how can we expect to see kind of the mid Furion play out? I mean, how do you play the hero in this role? Are we going to see a lot of very early on ganks from Koifa, or is he going to be sticking in the lane and getting to a certain level in terms of item progression?
Wow, so quite surprising, to be honest, to me that Baby Knight is mid on this Drow Ranger. I think this changes quite a bit. Now all of a sudden this mid Furion is much stronger because the OD, once he gets a few levels, he can just hit those treants and actually kill them with his aura, with his orb. But up against the Drow Ranger, I think that Koikwa should be very happy in this lane. He has higher base damage than the Drow Ranger, and the treants are gonna help him out in that lane. So I think he's gonna look to farm, and then if he ever sees an opportunity for a sure kill, he's gonna TP away and get a free kill. But Koikwa likes getting a lot of farm, so I think that's going to be his emphasis. And then Yapsor will circle around the mid lane and the top lane, trying to arrow either the Vengeful or the Drow Ranger.
I mean, considering the draft as well from No Diggity, you were saying before this game, there's always a danger if you're a team and you've just had a pretty good 2-0, that you go into the next series a little bit too confident. I mean, picking up something like the Nature's Prophet mid, is this a cocky move in your eyes from No Diggity, or does it really make sense here?
Oh, I don't think it's a cocky move from No Diggity. Like, I don't think that they're underestimating anything. I played with Koikwa myself, and I know he really likes playing this hero Furion, and he also likes playing it mid. He just likes playing the hero wherever. So I think this is just a comfort pick kind of for them. Although it's a bit unorthodox, I think to them it makes a lot of sense.
And looking at the side lanes as well, so obviously this era PL at the moment, he's certainly having a bit of a tough time. I mean, this Abaddon is causing issues. There is the Ench around as well. I mean, obviously the PL was the final pick. I mean, what do you think kind of No Diggity's thought process was here kind of behind this Phantom Lancer selection for Era?
Well, there's not really any AoE at all from London Conspiracy, so the PO is, if he ever gets up to that diffusal and maybe a secondary item, London Conspiracy are just going to have such a tough time dealing with that hero. So they're going to have this PO, and he might not have the best lane, but I think they're going to be okay with that. You can see already, Koikwa mid, he is completely destroying this Drow Ranger. He's sitting at 16-8 versus the 5-0 of the Drow Ranger. And yeah, this is what I talked about before, Koikwa playing with those treants in the mid lane, using them to CS. So they're going to win that mid lane very handily. And the Faceless Void, he's going to get quite a bit on the offlane levels at least. It's going to be kind of hard for LC to zone him until they get a couple levels on the OD.
Yeah, this mid lane, as you said, it's a bit of a mess. And I mean, if Drow doesn't have a great start, it's not good news for a team trying to run a Drow lineup, surely. I mean, sure, I guess you still have the aura. As long as you're getting levels, you're benefiting the team, but Drow can become useless pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think at this point the Draw Ranger mainly cares about levels. That's when you get at level 6 and you get that aura up to level 3, then you know you're still useful because of the 4 range heroes on your team. You can push with it, but losing this mid lane right now this badly it's gonna be a bit worrisome, I would say, for LC, but I think it's hard to say it's gonna matter too much at this point of the game.
Okay. And as you can see, really nice play from Yap, so he's just pretty much stopping every inch kind of rotation with a quick arrow, taking those creep kills. And Era now, he's managed to recover a bit. We saw him at the start, suffering a little bit against the Abaddon, but it's 18 for 3. He's finding the CS now. Kefka's still trying to do his best to harass him back. I mean, Kefka is getting himself a bit of farm on his hero, more so than the Void, the side of no Diggity on their offlane. But yes, that's expected as indeed the Venjo D safe lane combination. Pretty scary.
Yeah, good ward here for London Conspiracy, but we have the Lion moving in here sooner, and with the Invis room, they're gonna try to go on the Straw Ranger.
Unless, I guess, is there potential of LC to come in with a TP reaction, or do you think this may just be a dead drown? Well, she'll plant a tree. She'll buy herself some time, a little bit of regen, but no, it's not going to be enough to help her through this, surely. Oh, nearly that salve. Nearly getting away. There was backup from LC. Wasn't enough in time, though, and Koifer, the man who's already been having a beautiful lane, he's now got himself first blood under his belt.
Yeah, the face boots damage there from the Furion securing that kill with that one last right click. And yeah, Koifer off to a very good start here at the top of the CS chart with 31 CS at 4 minutes, and also now the Fierce Blood on his mid Furion. He's going to be very happy with that.
Matching the CS of London Conspiracy safe lane, Jellypy, and Jellypy's been having free farm, so Koifer essentially free farm here in this lane.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There's not that much that the Drow Ranger can do in this lane. Also, Koifer being a player who's very good at the laning phase. He's gonna TP bottom here, and they're gonna find a kill onto the Abaddon.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't even needed, but wants to join in for the XP. I guess they can turn this kind of kill into a push. Kezu being chased down. He's got time dilation, but time walk. That's still on cooldown, so Kezu might just go down here. Pops a salve. It's not going to matter, though. They get themselves in range. They will take themselves the kill. So they get the face of this Void. Bottom lane, indeed no Diggity. Koifer sticking around, looking to get a bit of pressure on. Trying to find a tier 1, and they should have a good shot at this one.
Yeah, this should most likely be the tier 1 tower. I'm interested to see what Koifer does with his Dream, what item build he chooses to go for, if it's gonna be the Drum, Orchids, Midas. He has a lot of options at this point. But yeah, they should be able to push. I don't know if they actually go back here. Yeah, it seems like Koifer's just TPing back to the mid lane to get more farm.
He's stocking up the money at the moment. As you said, it is going to be interesting to see what kind of route he does go for. But at this point in the game, 6 minutes in, I mean, London Conspiracy, they themselves, they've of course got a lot of push with their lineup, and they'll actually be the first one to break a tower. A bit more money in the bag for Steph Style on his edge. Bottom lanes, eyes onto the Abaddon, seeing if they could get Sind in position to make a jump, and Yapsol's come back to the mid lane. He's got that arcane rune up. He'd love to try and find an arrow, but Baby Knight sticking out the lane at the moment. Just looking to try and clear up some creeps here in the jungle. But of course, this is going to give continuous space for Koifer's Nature's Prophet as he cements his position there, top of the net worth. And it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. This is seems to really be working out. And as you said, it must be one of his favorites. And we're seeing why this game as he's playing it to perfection.
Yeah, pretty much. This early game is almost all you can ask for a Furion. From a Furion who is, yeah, he goes for the Midas, and this is the Koifer I know. Face boots Midas at 7 minutes there's got to be some of the earliest timings you can see on that hero.
We'll see if LC can find some of this smoke gang. Yapso just to the north of them, Koifer to the south. They drop a ward. They've got eyes onto Yapso mid, and they should be able to go for a wraparound kill. In fact, they find Koifer, and that would be the big one to find. Sprouts himself up, trying to look to juke this one out. He's fairly tanky here. Yapso and Sinner are coming through, but there's not going to be enough to save Koifer, and London Conspiracy will find the kill. Now, with the gust onto Sinner, and they'll look to take a second, they will find it. So nice smoke for London Conspiracy, finding the one high priority kill and a support to boot as well. That's great movement, and now puts them in the lead in terms of kills. They needed that.
Yeah, Kork actually running into that Centaur, getting stunned, but really important kill for London Conspiracy, and this is gonna help them out a lot. Both those supports were quite under-leveled, but now they're both up to level 5, almost level 6 on the Vengeful Spirit. And they also dealt quite a significant amount of damage to the tier 1 in the mid lane.
Abaddon. Phase boots now for Kefka, so we have to keep up the harassment onto Era in this lane. And Era, he's still doing alright in terms of farm. He's 3.1k, but still, the fact that Kefka's just permanently sitting himself in this lane, it's not making it easy for Era. And that is meaning that Jellypy's OD is getting the favourable amount of farm on his own safe lane, and of course working towards those drums. Level 8 on him at the moment. But I mean, if you're Koifa, as you said, after the phase boot Midas, you said this is the build we can come to expect. I mean, after that, or what do you expect him to go for now that we've seen the Midas was his first option in terms of items?
I'm really not sure what he chooses to go for. I feel like he can go for a lot of different routes. It could be the eggs, but I think Koifa is not someone who prefers that item build, so I would expect him to go something more along the lines of a right-click build with perhaps Orchids, even Shadowblade. Yeah, it's an item that I know that he likes, so could be something along those lines. Maelstrom is also an option, but the Aghanim Scepter would be a pretty good addition for him, seeing as London Conspiracy don't really have any way of clearing those treants fast. It could just mean that the lanes are pushed at all points so that London Conspiracy just can't push.
Talking about pushing, we got mid lane being looked at by no Diggity. YapzOr positioning himself just in case any kind of reaction comes through from the side. Solon is there towards the bottom and might be able to get there in time. Actually pops the magic missile onto YapzOr. You got Kefka, he's stuck on the high ground, YapzOr stuck on the low, so the distance between them will be enough. And no Diggity did lose that tier 1 bottom, so tier 1 for tier 1 trade. And Temessin Cinderin could be in a spot above it. Look at the gust out from Baby Knight, and the damage, of course, by this drought. Pretty serious at this point.
Yeah, and a quite slow reaction here from the Lion. He did see the Enchanters coming from quite far away. He also got earned up. I feel like he could have just either hexed or stunned the center and TP'd out, but took him some time to react, and he does go down. Era connects on the OD on the middle lane while they're pushing that tier 1, but that's why they had the Abaddon. Shield that off, and they do claim another tier 1 tower. So still quite a okay start for London Conspiracy at this point. No Diggity are finding quite a lot of levels though on their heroes, which is not really what London Conspiracy wants. They want them to be under-leveled and just scared, and what London Conspiracy want to do is just as soon as possible try to take out these tier 1s and then follow into the tier 2s.
Bit ambitious there from Jellypy.
Yeah, he wanted to burn all the mana from the Void so that he wouldn't have enough to time walk away, but unfortunately the Void still has some mana, and maybe he switched to Intreads and actually manages to time walk away. And Korkwa does go for the drums, so Midas into drums. Going back for some extra stats and some move speed so that he can run around on the map, and yeah, I'm expecting him to transition this into some sort of a right-click build now.
Alright, indeed. Well, I mean, I guess the thing is, well, with LC's lineup, do you feel that they are on quite a timer? I mean, how well does their kind of Drow strat stand up in the later portions? Because I'm seeing, obviously, like the PL, the Void, the potential the late game split from Koifa's Nature's Prophet. I mean, they're going to want to close this game down as soon as they can.
Yeah, I definitely think they're definitely on a timer. I really want them to try to take out Roshan.
Oh, as soon as he gets it, actually finding a nice chrono onto 2, and with the Astral onto Steph's style, it kind of saved him for a little bit of time, but he still gets this buyback from the Venge as they want to try and get themselves back in the fight. Cinderin tries for a bold TP in the midst of it all, won't make it out. So we have a 2-for-1 trade. LC, of course, buying back on Solon's Venge, and they will go into the Roche Pit now that Chrono's down.
Yeah, and this is something that they really need to do. They need to get this Roche as soon as possible. Long arrow connects on the OD, but the shield once again. This gives, however, Era farm to time to get some farm and also pick up that bottom tier 1 most likely. At least it's going to be, if not killed by him, it's going to be denied. But yeah, London Conspiracy are definitely on a timer here. They have to push this as soon as possible. If the PO gets 1 or even 2 items, it could be very difficult for them to deal with it. And No Diggity also have that void if London Conspiracy try to go high ground. However, one thing that they do have going though is that they have this Abaddon who can negate some of the damage of No Diggity, and No Diggity really don't have that much AoE damage. It's the Lion spells, Potem, and the Furion ults, and that's about it. So if No Diggity actually, if London Conspiracy actually managed to get to the base of No Diggity, it could fall really fast.
Yeah, we saw on Baby Knight's draw, he's managed to save up quite a bit of gold. He had about 2.4, 2.5k now. I mean, what is he saving up here on the draw? I mean, I wondered if, you know, early Blink, was that going to be any good, or is he looking to go straight stats to benefit the team?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I would just expect him to go for something standard, perhaps Yasha into... Could be BKB, could even be Ags this game, as it's a way of dealing with illusions to some extent.
Really smooth there from Koifer.
Yeah, that was a maximum damage. They just dropped it ult, and I think that the Abaddon's ult was on cooldown from potentially the Roche that they just did.
Nice ward from No Diggity indeed, setting that up. And I mean, No Diggity, they're really getting their own push on now. We talked about obviously LC, how they've drafted. They do want to get some kind of momentum, but No Diggity proving that they can not only have momentum now at this point of the game, but the later it goes, it's only going to kind of level up to more potential. And it's going to be the Shadow Blade here from Baby Knight's draw. I mean, is this the item that he needs?
Yeah, maybe it is. I'm not really sure. Very uncommon pickup here, and he's also going to reveal that Shadow Blade up top now, so that No Diggity won't really be surprised by this anymore. So it looks like they're actually going to go into this game thinking they're going to have to deal with this split push quite a bit, but I'm not so sure that this is the right approach, because I feel like if they actually start trying to deal with the split push, then they already lost the game. What they need to do is force the issue as soon as possible. And so having this top tier 1 and 2 taken for them is a very tricky situation, because they can't be defending at this point. They just really need to be grouping up and trying to siege, and even siege the base at this point, because No Diggity are just gonna pull further and further ahead in the farm department. Koikva has Midas, Face Boots, Drums, Maelstrom, and another 1k gold on top of that. This is an extremely fat Furion at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at Era as well. I believe he's got the full diffusal on its way out, and as he, oh no, sorry, Yashi. So he went the Yashi first. He did have that Robe of the Magi on him. So, I mean, I guess once he's got a Manta style, you look at LC's lineup. They're really going to struggle to just control that Phantom Lancer in the fights.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna see here if London Conspiracy are actually just gonna go for this. They can take this tier 2, and they could even turn this into a high ground push. I would like to see them do that, and at least, if nothing else, not take the tier 3, but at least force No Diggity back to the base. Take a fight with that Aegis.
Well, as we can see from the stat there, the fifth pick of the Shadow Blade on the Drow Ranger in this patch, and only 1 win out of those other 4.
Yeah, I think that when you go this item
the game's
on
not
Drow
going
Ranger,
anywhere.
the game is already kind of, something already kind of went wrong, and I do believe that LC feel like the pressure is on them.
Oh, this lineup of No Diggity is really starting to look pretty scary. And London Conspiracy, they're playing it safe. They don't want to try and force the high ground here. They pretty much know that they're going to have a huge issue if they try to, flying uphill into the potential of a Chrono. I mean, what is the game plan from LC? You said it's kind of hard for them to step back and just start to react to what No Diggity are doing. Is there any way that they can try and play around them? I mean, is it just a case of trying to find a pick-off and then pushing, or can they try for a 5-on-5 engagement?
I would say that they should try for a 5-on-5 engagement. I wouldn't even mind if they actually had gone for the base there, because they had that Aegis on the Drow Ranger, so they can just have the Drow Ranger siege potentially with an Enchantress, and then Odie can Astral one of the heroes, Venge can swap one out of the Chrono, and they also have that Abaddon who can shield and heal one of those heroes. So I would have liked to see them go for a fight actually. And I also think that is kind of what they have to do as soon as possible, but they're gonna try to get some pickoffs before they do that, and maybe try to get some more items before they go for that high ground, but I think that is not really gonna work out so well for them. If they want to play this game, then they need to get a Blink Dagger relatively soon on the OD, and maybe even a Hex, so that they can actually catch people who are split pushing, but that's a very difficult game to play against No Diggity's lineup.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, we're starting to see Baby Knight again get that gold up on top of the Shadow Blade. He's got 2.2k. It will be interesting to see what he he does decide is going to be the item next. And we did see there him maybe hoping for a bit of a bait as the rest of the team positioned behind him. They are still hanging around. They've got the pings onto the tier 2. They'll see if they can try and take another objective, but the mid lane's being pushed in by Koifa. Top lane Sind. He's working his way around the top. I mean, I guess this is the thing. When LC group up and push one lane, no Diggity, they're just meanwhile pushing back the other two.
Yeah. And Koifa is just gonna keep on farming. You can see he's topping the net burst chart by quite a bit of margin. But now it looks like LC have finally decided that they're gonna try to go for the high ground. The Aegis Hex expired, so they're not gonna have that on their Draw Ranger, but they're gonna get some quite a lot of damage actually onto this tier 3.
Yeah, and it looks like they get themselves away as well. So I guess if they can rinse and repeat that, they can slowly start to siege the base of no Diggity. Era still sticking around. He got a sizable push on, but LC now back on the defense. So Era will hold it back.
Yeah, I would like to see actually the Aghanim Scepter coming out relatively soon on the Draw Ranger so that he can push out the lanes, because if they don't push out these lanes fast enough, then they're gonna be faced with that issue that when they go TP back, you see Era, he can just go into the jungle, and if he sees that heroes are missing, then he will just keep running further and further back, because he can understand that they're chasing him. If they're not pushing out the lanes that are already at their tier 3s, then it means that they're chasing him. So they really need to have a way of dealing with these creep waves pushing in due to the Furion and the Peel constantly pushing. So Eggs could be a good way of dealing with that for the Draw Ranger.
That's a bit of an interesting pickup here for Yapso this game, opting for the Veil on the Mirana.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen a bit more recently. People picking up the Veil on the bottom, just increasing that damage on the Starfall so that she actually, Starstorm perhaps now in Dota 2, so that she actually deals some more magical damage. And yeah, the Furion ult could come through. There's the Finger of Death from the Lion, so they're gonna have a bit of magical damage. And yeah, it's not a bad pickup. It also is some armor for the bottom, so she can tank through the physical damage of London Conspiracy.
Talking about London Conspiracy, they are grouping up again once more, trying to take the final tier 2 away from no Diggity, and yeah, looks like they'll be able to make short work of it. Again, we'll see if they want to try and push up for a high ground advantage, and Jellypy, he's leading the way. There's now Blink on Cinderin, so no Diggity improving the catch potential that they do have. And they're going to have to head back here and form some kind of defense, because LC still looking to stick around. Diffusal is now done though for Era. He has got that coming out on top of that Yasha, so and we talked about the Manta, but obviously the Diffusal again, being able to remove that silence from the Gust. It's going to be very hard for them to do anything about this Peel in terms of killing him. Era should be able to play his way around their lineup. And also nice killing potential as well. I'm talking about getting a kill. The dust coming out. They've caught Baby Knight in the trees. Era turning up as well. And yeah, no hope for Baby Knight. Nearly gets Koifa. But with Era turning up as well, that's going to be a quick kill for the side of no Diggity. And 6-5. I mean, 21 minutes in. It's not been the most action-packed game. And hey, that has seemed close. You know, LC, they've got their pushes on. But I mean, 21 minutes in, if you're them, are you a little bit scared that you haven't been able to break the base yet?
Yeah, I'm really worried for London Conspiracy. I feel like they've completely missed their timing. They didn't push the high ground early enough, and now the Peel has, I think he's on his Diffusal Blade. Yeah, he does have this Diffusal Blade. We saw Syndron earlier picked up the Blink Dagger, so if they actually do go for that base push, now it's going to be really difficult for them to actually be able to fight against no Diggity. I think that when they had that Aegis, that was prime time for them to try to push. Now they're gonna have, there is gonna be another Roche now, so they could go and try to get that Roche, and then after that go for the high ground push. But it might already be difficult because they don't really have any way of dealing with that Peel in the fight. They do have the Odie's hammer if he gets a bit of int stolen, but even this gank on the bottom lane should not be possible because Eric can just diffuse himself and then just double walk out. They don't really have any reveal for the Peel from the bottom in this.
There's a sentry. Oh, Solon maybe a little slow there with the magic missile. He'll lay down another sentry, but again, Era's out of the range. He'll go for the straight TP out, but they have got the magic missile. He's going to get Astra. I mean, they're throwing all the spells at him, and they're going to get themselves the kill. So they do find that PL, as elusive as he may be. Just take the full lineup pretty much, but they get it nonetheless. That's a big kill.
Yeah, it's a big kill, but still at the same time, you can see no Diggity are pushing out all of the other lanes. The top lane is already pushing in, close to the tier 3. Koikva is just farming up the entire jungle of London Conspiracy, and the other heroes are pretty much free to do what they want since 5 heroes were chasing that PL. At the same time, they could be taking out the Roche with this PL being dead, but they're a bit scared of it because the Faceless Void has a chrono, so getting chrono that hit can be quite scary. I think what they need to do is get some vision around that area and then go for that Roche, which is what Baby Knight is doing right now.
Indeed, he's going to start going for this one. They do have a BKB on Jalopy's OD, ready for the next fight. I mean, no Diggity. We'll see if they're going to be wanting to jump into this one, and I mean, it looks like they're not even going to have the chance to. So another big objective here for LC, getting themselves the Aegis, and we'll see how much of a push on they are able to get with this one going. And I guess now with the fact that there is that BKB on Jalopy, you can frontline a little bit better, and they might have a chance at sieging the base of No Diggity.
Yeah, but at the same time, No Diggity don't really have that much magical damage. They do have the Lion, which is what I assume that the OD is scared of. But then again, their lineup is built so that this OD shouldn't really be buying a BKB because they have an Abaddon and they have a Vengeful Spirit. So if the OD is gone on, then they can help him out. And if he uses that BKB, Abaddon can't use his spells on him. And I would have liked to see this Abaddon go for a mech, perhaps. Or if someone else on the team could go for a mech. And then they just siege, but they're opting for a different approach to the game.
I mean, this is the BKB boy as well. He's not getting a chance to get it out, and he gets bursted down. The Chronon to Solon as well. I mean, that's pretty much as disastrous as it can get, especially after picking up a BKB. The fact that Sin's got his blink in good time, it's, as you said, the item itself, it's a little bit of a last-ditch attempt, and it still can get punished by No Diggity.
Yeah, and splitting on this map it's really difficult against the lineup that the No Diggity have. They have the Faceless Void with the Blink Dagger, Lion has a Blink Dagger, the Fury can obviously be there at any time. PL is also a very mobile hero, and so is Bottom, so it's very difficult for London Conspiracy to actually split up and do something on this map.
As we can see, in terms of XP net worth, it is starting to grow the way of No Diggity, and if the game continues at this pace, we can expect to see that distance between the two teams continue to increase. We can see working on that mech, and obviously then on into the Greaves for Yapzor, and mech portion very nearly done.
Yeah, and Yapzor is actually quite farmed. He already has that Veil, he has mana boots, he just finishes his mech, so they're now going to be working on the Greaves, which will give them even more armor. And now at this point, this PO, he's getting really close to that Manta style. And Koikva sitting at
how much money he's got.
5.5, soon 6k gold.
At 25 minutes into the game.
Yeah, with the MJ already up, Blink Dagger, drums.
Yeah, I mean, you said this man knows how to farm, and you're absolutely right. I was asking before, banning the Invoker, is that what you need to do? And you said, well, at the end of the day, Koikva, he's just pretty bloody good at the game. He'll always find his farm, and this game, he's a clean, 8k nearly ahead of the highest on LC. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, he likes to kill the creeps. That's what he does.
Error. Tomlin getting got on. He's going to go for the straight TP out with the Moonlight as well. Oh, my goodness.
Bit of a late sentry placement there.
Oh, man. He must have just gone invis in time to disjoint that magic missile stun. And then, as you said, shame the sentry wasn't placed down before it connected.
Yeah, and it cost so much for them as well, because they invested so many heroes. There were 4 heroes up there, they invested 1 sentry, and they still didn't get the PO, and all they had to use was 1 bottom ult. And meanwhile, No Diggity are just splitting the map.
Mid lane, trying to make a go onto Yapzor. But again, even himself with the Veil, with the mech. This man, it's a tanky Mirana. And as we can see, the safe lane OD just doesn't have the damage to deal with it. Koikva went for the BKB. He's coming up again to 3k on top of that. It's, I mean, you're just looking at the core heroes of No Diggity, and you're just asking yourself, how are London Conspiracy going to kill them at this point? They're going to be very hard to catch out. And the positioning from the guys on No Diggity has been pretty on point at this point.
Yeah, I think the way that London Conspiracy, if they want to play it this way, where they're actually going to split push, they need to get a gem on the Abaddon or the Vengeful Spirit. They need to get a Blink Dagger on the OD. And then they need to have the OD run around with either the Venge or the Abaddon, with whoever has the gem. Clear the vision, get that Blink out so they can actually start catching some heroes, and then have one guy with him. So if the person they're going on is not alone, then, well, they can always help that OD out. But right now, they just have no way of dealing with the split push. And Baby Knight looks like he's going to go for a Silver Edge. I'm not really sure against who. It's perhaps against the Pio, I guess.
He stops him getting the illusions out.
Yeah, but he can... I'm not so sure if he can actually mend the split out of that double walk diffuse. That Silver Edge effect. I feel like it's not really a solution to the problem.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, the damage reduction is kind of nice as well. If you get on one of the big hard hitters like Quiver, but still, yeah, as you said, the Silver Edge. I guess it's not an item that you'd be getting if you were winning the game with your Drow lineup.
Yeah. It's not one of those game-winning items. I think it's more of just an item.
Okay, we're gonna see LC grip up and start to make their way down this bottom lane. The Aegis again, though, it has gone, so this will be a push without the Aegis.
Yeah, the curious thing about LC is that every time they get that Aegis, then they spend 5-6 minutes
and then they push when it's gone.
Farming, and then they push when the Aegis is actually just expiring.
The mind games.
So, yeah, maybe some next level strategies here.
Well, we can see they're doing a good job at taking down this tier 3. Kezu jumps forward, time dilation onto Jellypy. Jellypy getting pushed back by the Sprout, and now the Moonlight. Let's see if they can set something up. They do have that Chronosphere. Kezu can find a good jump in. Vale onto the OD. They need to catch that Venge though as well. They need to be careful of the swap potential, and Solon, he's got it. We'll swap Jellypy out. That's going to mean that Solon pays with his life, and now Era moving in. They're ready to start to take this fight. LC being careful about the positioning. Jellypy still, by the looks of it, wanting to go in, but Koifa will come through. He'll sprout up the OD. Kezu jumps in as well. Gets a nice time dilation onto all 4. Aphotic Shield onto Jellypy will remove it for himself. Now LC still standing pretty good in terms of health. Stun from Sin. Illusion starting to hit away at Jellypy, and LC dealing very well with this defense from No Diggity, and he's going to force No Diggity to pop the fortification. Again, Kezu jumping in, getting the time dilation out. Looks like LC is more careful now about coming back in onto this one. But LC, considering the position they're in, they're playing this one smartly, and they don't lose anything more than just the Vengeful Spirit there, and they get a significant amount of damage done to the base.
Yeah, I think they're actually happy with that. They played that the way they should have. The Venge just stands behind the OD, and he gets chronoed, but the Venge swaps him out, and even if they kill the Venge, he doesn't really care that much because they get the minus damage, and he did his job. They wasted the Chronosphere, so LC might actually be able to get one Rex here on the bottom lane. If they had gone for the range Rex, it would have already been dead, but they did opt for the melee Rex, and
they got it back.
Yeah, now we see Koiko up on this top lane, attacking the tier 3 already.
I mean, at the moment, no one is backing him. Baby Knight tries to do something smart with the Manta. Won't juke out the stun. Does get Astral defensively. Koifa still pushing. Do these guys have TPs? I mean, at the moment, LC's just sticking all down bottom. We're going to see OD pop the BKB. Start to clear out these illusions. Again, LC, they're going to be fine. They have sent Baby Knight back, so he will be able to stop the advance from Koifa. But bottom lane, Kezu moving in, 10 seconds, and he will have that Chronosphere back and available. Koifa's turned up for the fight as well. They'll trap up the Vengeful Spirit, jump across. No escape here for Sol, and they'll clear out the Venge. But as you said, LC just trying to do their best to play around this lineup. At the end of the day, though, the push was just as successful as that of Koifa's. Pretty much the same amount of damage done to the melee racks, which, of course, will start to regen back up. But 10-6, and Koifa, as we can see, quite a stat. He is 10k ahead of that Drow Ranger, and 31 minutes in, a GPM of 770 reached at this point.
Yeah, we have a funny statsman here, Koiko's Prophet.
Funny guy.
Great stuff, mate.
He's got his MKB as well now, Koifa. I mean, this guy, he can kill heroes and he can kill structures for sure. There's a Blink Dagger on Era, so he's going to be much harder to catch out. And he's going to be in a much better position to initiate and jump in on some of these backliners. And, of course, just close the gap on the Drow so she loses the aura. And, of course, Aghanim's for Kezu. Pretty much done. And at that point, we may see No Diggity start to look for more of the fights themselves rather than kind of playing from the defensive, as we can see them positioning themselves over LC's side of the map. And in fact, LC, they're going to come up into this one. Baby Knight gets the silence onto Kezu. Kezu trying to walk it back. Can they kill Kezu through this? And they will. Nice kill onto the Void. Now Yapsor looking to TP out. Is he going to make it? Are they going to get the Astral time? Oh! Not quite able to get it off there from the OD. But nonetheless, it's a Void kill. And LC again, it's a good bit of action that they will be very happy with.
Yeah, and a bit surprising here that no Diggity didn't react faster. They did have the gem, so they did see Baby Knight come in with that Drow Ranger invis. They have the gem on that Faceless Void, which I assume that they lost just now. Unless he actually traded to someone. No, they got the gem from no Diggity, so this is a very nice pickup for London Conspiracy. And yeah, a bit surprising that they didn't actually manage to catch them out because they were running up the high ground and no Diggity had that hill. And on top of that, the PL also did run away when his Void got gusted, so he could have actually diffused the gust off the Faceless Void, and the Void could then have turned on London Conspiracy, so perhaps not thinking about that in the moment. Something that you can forget, that you can diffuse others.
Yeah, save your teammates, absolutely. I think though at this point, like 33 minutes in, LC, considering how we kind of felt that their strat did need to pull off something early, they're certainly showing us that they can still hold their own at this point, and you know, each time that no Diggity kind of get themselves caught out of position, LC are there to punish it. And eyes on the mid lane now, in fact, so we can see Jellypy jumping in onto Yapzor. Yapzor in a spot above her, will leap himself away. Just able to escape. Jellypy not wanting to commit the ult just for a solo kill.
Yeah, quite curious that he didn't actually astral the bottom, because that would have meant his blink dagger would have come up once again. I suppose he was a bit afraid of the lion coming there and then turning on him. Nonetheless, forcing the bottom away at least.
It gives them the space again to get that Aegis.
Yeah, and this is where we hope that they're actually gonna now for once push with the Aegis. They might want to farm up the Aghanim Scepter on the Drow Ranger before they start pushing, unless it's a Skadi, which I think the preferred item here is Aghanim's. But yeah, pushing with this Aegis could potentially be something that London Conspiracy could do, and if they take a nice fight, they could end up getting a Rex. But they are dealing with a Phantom Lancer who is growing by the minute, and once he gets this next item, I think that no Diggity are gonna start looking to fight against London Conspiracy. If the PL goes for a Skadi, Heart, I don't know, Butterfly, he could pretty much go whatever he wants. Just one more item, and then he will be at that point where it's really, really difficult for London Conspiracy just to deal with the Phantom Lancer alone, which will free up a lot of room for the rest of the no Diggity heroes to kind of maneuver around London Conspiracy and do what they want.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels that, no Diggity are pretty relaxed about the situation. I think we saw them go for that one bit of an attempt when they went over to the side of the map, but as you said, it certainly feels like they are just waiting for the next big items on their course. And Ags is now done for Baby Knight. So we are indeed going to see that Aghanim's Drought come online. And I guess
the Abaddon
he's
also
got the
finished
well,
Ags earlier, and wow, Koikva actually up to... Yeah, this is a 6 slotted Fury in 35 minutes. This
My goodness.
This is the dream for a Prophet player. But London Conspiracy actually still playing this quite well against the heroes that they're facing with the lineup that they have. I think they're showing quite a lot of patience, and they haven't really crumbled yet, and they're taking it slow and not wanting to risk, and giving up one ranged barracks here, but doesn't matter all too much. But they're gonna have to start doing something soon.
There's a mid again. Jellypy. Just not feeling that he can really go for that one. Yep, so he's going to be able to walk it off. And Baby Knight. Well, you do have Syndra and Anera in the nearby. Baby Knight's just going to start to move towards them, but no, he's just going to head back and clear this wave, and we'll see if LC want to push this one right round. They still have that Aegis, they still have that cheese, and we'll see if they can indeed do something this time around with those two items. As obviously before, we've seen them kind of hang back during the Aegis and kind of push afterwards.
Yeah,
a little bit of a weird turn of events.
So do you think we're gonna see that again?
I think that's the strat
wait for Aegis to expire into
and
push.
then go in.
New meta.
It certainly seems to be the pattern. So I guess it's all about if they can really find a kill. If they can kill Hera at this point outside the base, that would be a big start for them. But Hera, just playing it safe, blinks himself back down the lane.
And I do think that these tier 3 towers for no Diggity are quite low. At least the mid one perhaps is. The bottom one is already gone. The mid one is around half health. But yeah, no Diggity London Conspiracy deciding to push this top lane.
Yeah, and this is working for the time being. Well, until now, Kezu, Chrono onto 2. Nice swap, taking Jellapi out of harm's way. The Aegis has been popped. Astral onto Solon, going to buy him some time. Baby Knight back for round 2. Pops the Manta, starts to back. And getting a significant amount of damage out from this Enchantress, but the Greaves are popped. Diggity healing back up, still the damage coming in onto the tier 3. They are going to be able to find it, Arrow onto Kefka. Now they're going to try and move back in. Kezu jumping into the middle of them all, gets the time dilation onto them all. They manage to take down the OD. It's a double kill for Koifa, doing so much damage. He gets himself a triple. He's moving in for more. Solon will be able to TP away. They get the stun onto the Ench. They'll find themselves a 4th kill. And this is the thing, I mean, they start to push, but Koifa just turns up, and this man, he is so farmed. They just cannot deal with this level 23 Nature's Prophet, 6 slotted at 38 minutes.
Yeah, and Odie did not drop the hammer. He decided to hold his ult, which might have been what actually lost them the fight.
And this is big. Koifa caught out. Baby Knight is suddenly... He's in on a whole lot of money. I mean, he's...
Well, he did just buy back though, so a lot of that gold is actually reduced.
Yeah.
And the Venge might have ended up getting some of that gold, but yeah, unfortunately for him, he did just buy back, so a lot of that gold from Koifa goes to waste.
Still holding LC. They are still holding, but Koifa, as we've seen, is very, very scary. He does so much damage in these fights, and this is going to allow the game to keep going so Era can find the space to catch up in his own farm.
Yeah, and very nice item build here, I think, from Yapsor on the bottom. He has Veil, Greaves, and Vlads. He's a true team player, this guy. And 1-0-11 so
and
far.
Baby Knight starting to get this off, but Kezu, it's a runaway Chrono. It's a 3-man and get the hell out of there.
It's the bubble and run. Another classic in the Dota
bubble
scene.
and run. Look at these, he's some tasty racks down this bottom lane. Exposed. If Yapstor can get the creeps all the way in, we might see Koifa go for a bit of backdoor action.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what Koifa's gonna do next with his gold. Most likely eat a Moon Shard, and then he's gonna look to perhaps replace one of his items later on. I'm not sure which. We'll see.
We'll see. Getting some pressure onto the mid lane. Fortification will be forced out from no Diggity. They do have Koifa back up. Bell gets laid down, and Kezu jumping in. Dilation onto them. And they'll see. They'll back up. Top racks indeed, a bit of pressure from the creeps. We're going to see, well, there's no chance for Koifa to come in, as already TP's back from LC, making sure that there's no opening for them to be exposed in. And we can see from the net worth, it's a 20k lead for the side of no Diggity in terms of gold and XP, but LC, they are still holding their own pretty damn well in a game 40 minutes in where they did run a drow strat.
Yeah, and the Venge actually sitting at 2.5k gold. I'm curious to see what he's gonna pick up. A lot of that gold is most likely from that Fury kill. But yeah, LC doing what they can in this dire situation. Unintended.
You're a witty one, Piker.
I try.
I mean, it's... what we can see Arrow go for. He's looking for his butterfly. Yeah, goes with the Eagle Salt. Ether Lens is going to be the option for the Venge. I mean, we've seen already. I guess it is really important that the Venge is able to save the key heroes from this Chronosphere.
Yeah, so not a bad choice from the Vengeful Spirit. I really want to see this Odie pick up a Hex soon. I think he's sitting at 5.3k gold, so he's very close to that Hex if he wants to buy it. Then they could actually just use the swap into Hex combo. Gonna see no Diggity. Bottom invis up here.
Yeah, if they get Baby Knight straight out of the fight, it's gonna be a big one. And Kezu on the back lines. He's gonna get the Chrono out, but Solon there with the swap out. Jellapi's still caught on the sidelines though, and Jellapi, he's gonna get taken down. Jellapi and Baby Knight out, and Baby Knight does not actually have buyback available. He's down for 90. Era moving in onto the Enchantress. He's gonna be gone as well. They'll jump forward. They'll find more. Double kill for Koifa. We might be seeing a triple, and we will. Again, Koifa just doing so much right-click in these fights. There's a buyback from the OD, but he's the only one with it available. And just like that, that fight, that could be the final nail in the coffin for LC. It really could. Their whole base exposed. Jellapi is going to try and do his best to hold this off, but the damage from these boys is much too much. It's going to be megas.
Yeah, this is most likely just going to be a game. I'm expecting LC to call it. very soon they don't have any buyback on their draw ranger. There's gonna be mega creeps from no diggity right now. Good game.
I mean, LC, they did try their bet. 43 minutes they managed to hold out on, and it was just that last fight. The fact that they lose Baby Knight at the start, the fact he didn't have buyback available, still on cooldown from the last engagement, and the great follow-up on Todi as well. And again, it's some really nice chronospheres from Kezu this game that just made these fights incredibly hard for LC. And of course, Koifa, you got to mention the man, finishing the game with 864 GPM. I mean, that man's nature's prophet. It's and in the mid lane as well. It's. I mean, are we going to see more people do that, or is it just something that Koifa himself has mastered?
Well, the thing is that I thought it was quite strange that they actually decided to put the Drow Ranger mid, because Drow Ranger was one of those heroes, he just doesn't face off that well against the Furion because of the Treants, whereas Odie actually, he can kill those Treants with his orb. So I think the Furion mid, it's a very situational pick, you know. I think for them it's the fact that they really like Furion and they also like Faceless Void, so they just fit them both into their lineup. But Furion mid is not something you will see too often because he does struggle. I remember them picking it up against, I think, another team, and they ended up giving a lot of farms to the enemy's mid hero. So it's not something you can always pick, but it did work out this game. And yeah, Koipa sitting at 470 CS in this 42-minute games and 10 CS a minute, and then a lot of kills on top of that, a lot of structural damage too. So
it's crazy. I mean, of course, as well, going to look at the side of LC's draft, do you feel that in game 2 they're not going to try Drow Strat again? I mean, do you feel that's something you just try once in a series, or could they try and make some changes to it and try and run something like that again and go for the push?
I mean, I think the Drow Strat was actually fine. I just think that their approach to the game was wrong. If you pick a Drow Strat, then you need to be grouping up and pushing much earlier. Like, you underestimate how much damage you actually have. Then you can just go for the base, and you are gonna force the enemy team to go and defend their base really early on. And that is the strength of the lineup. You can just go and force from there because of the Abaddon that they had and the Vengeful Spirit. But they actually never grouped up with those Aegises and tried to do that. So they just ended up getting splitted instead.
Absolutely. And we'll see indeed in game 2 if the side of LC can step it back. I mean, at the moment, Sin's team having a great day. 3 victories so far, $3,000 in the bank. We'll see if they can make it 4. We'll see you guys very shortly for game 2. We'll cut to a short ad break, and I'll see you right around the corner.